Today is a full day of eating on 1600 calories. I'm gonna take you through the entire day, everything I eat, give you the tips and tricks to help me stay full on such a low calorie day. So first thing is pre-workout, 5 in the morning, 5 calories in. Just got to the gym. It is 5:30 in the morning. I have one of 3 gyms that I go to. This one is just my apartment gym, honestly my favorite, and the one I go to the most. Most of the time there's nobody even there, which is really nice. It has enough equipment to get a decent workout in, especially for a cut, everything that I really want. If I want to go super heavy, it's probably not the place, but I think that's gonna be more for when I'm bulking sometime in the future, then I'll be going there. So let's get in there. So just smashed an arm workout, just getting back home. Took me about an hour and a half. So for arms, I probably took about 50-ish minutes, and then I did 30 minutes of cardio. Let's go get the physique update. All right guys, I just smashed an arm workout. Ended up doing 250 calories worth of cardio as well. Always after every lift, I do about 30 minutes of cardio, which works out to around 250 calories based on my incline and intensity. Today was an arm day, so hopefully it shows a little more in the physique. Today I weighed in at 188.8, which I feel that's kind of around where I've been before. So as of Saturday, I started with creatine. I would say that the creatine for the most part has done its effect on my weight, probably as much as it will. Right now, I'm feeling super lean, the leanest I felt during this prep. Also feeling the tightest in all muscles, all area groups. So overall, I'm feeling good. I think ab-wise, we're way off, but we're still on track for show day. Let's get into the first meal of the day. All right, and here we have meal number 1. I am having 6 eggs, and it's made up of 2 whole eggs, 4 egg whites. Honestly, this is probably the biggest staple in my diet. I have it almost every day, and something I really don't get too tired of. Has a great mixture of protein, fats. I kind of like how it really doesn't have any carbs. And also I have 52 grams of turkey in here. It mixes up the flavor and adds a little bit more protein. I like to add a little bit of some fat-free mozzarella cheese. And then along with this, I'm having another thing that I just love to add to breakfast, and that's just 1 piece of toast. I'm possibly slightly weird, and I like to just have it dry, nothing on it, and that is fine for me and my taste buds. It is a keto-friendly piece of bread. This is 40 calories just for 1 slice, 1.5 grams of fat, 4 grams of protein, 13 grams of carbs, but there is 12 grams of fiber, so this is where I get the majority of my fiber for the day. And on top of it, I am going to have 1 serving of my multivitamin and 1 serving of some fish oil. Have this with almost every meal if I can. I do track this. This is 0 calories. Fish oil is 10 calories. So let's get into the calories for this meal. 345 calories, 49 grams of protein. After taking out the fiber, it is only 1 gram of active carbs and 12 grams of fat. The reason why this is such a staple for me, just a good amount of protein, great first meal of the day, low in calorie, and very, very filling. I am on my lunch break right now. We are gonna have a classic of mine, and that is open face burgers. So I'm starting out with 2 slices of that keto bread that I just had toasted, and then I'm having 6 ounces of some ground beef. I already did some meal prepping earlier the week, so just had to reheat this in the microwave. Next, we just really have to dress it, and that's kind of why I like it. It's a quick, easy kind of lunch. For these burgers, I like the lettuce, tomato, pickles. I do not add cheese just because of the calories. So I want to say this meal's gonna have a good amount of fat, kind of help keep me full. Decent on protein, not as much as other meals. Gosh, I'm butchering this tomato. So honestly, these taste really good. You'll see that I'm doing an open face burger, and that's just because I don't exactly have the calories for, I guess it'd be an additional 80 calories to make full burgers. If you have the calories, honestly, that'd probably be a good use of them, because you'd also be really nice and full. I don't have that luxury though. We're on a 1600 calorie day. We're trying to make it work. Honestly, most of the time I put as much lettuce as I can. Just will help keep you full. At least feel full. I think that's the thing on the 1600 calorie days. You're just trying to feel full. Yesterday was a 2000 calorie day. I even had trouble then feeling full. So once you start dieting, it's weird. Just like that, we have our completed lunch. So we are having 6 ounces of ground beef, 3 and 3, 2 slices of my keto bread, and I'm just having some open-faced burgers. Love eating them like this. A little bit lower on the calories just because, you know, I'm missing the other half of the bun. I guess I could, if I wanted to, I could make it just a double cheeseburger and make it one. However, I feel like when it's 2 open-faced burgers, I get all the lettuce and tomato and I feel like that's kind of filling. So that's kind of my method with that. Plus that'd be too much. I can't even take a bite out of that. So the macros for these 2 burgers, they are 405 calories, 41 grams of protein, 24 grams of fat, 25 grams of carbs. Overall, really good lunch, very filling. Honestly, not too bad on calories. All right, so it is after work and I'm having an after work snack. I've been very consistent lately actually with just having a protein shake. So just a good amount of protein. I've been trying to get in some creatine. Nothing really special here. So I'm just gonna have 1 scoop of protein. This is just from Kirkland and honestly, I got this just because it was cheap. I trust the Kirkland brand. I like Kirkland, I like Costco. I used to kind of just weigh this out, but to be honest, lately I'm just kind of doing 1 scoop. What's an extra gram or 2 here gonna really do? I've been having creatine twice a day for this past week. So 1 in my pre-workout and then 1 in this shake. To be honest, I'm really just trying to load up on the creatine. And then probably after the weekend, after this weekend, I'll stop and I'll just go to 1 scoop a day. There is no calories in creatine, so that's good. The only thing, which I was kind of talking about earlier, is we are gonna have some water weight gain. So we'll see how that goes. Anyways, also the amount of water, I just fill it up. That way, I think the more water, the more full I'll feel. So for this protein shake, we are looking at 130 calories, 25 grams of protein, 4 grams of carbs, and 1.5 grams of fat. And then another thing I like to pretty much always add to my snack is a Diet Dr. Pepper. Also got this at Costco, so you can get a big case of them for fairly cheap. But the thing I like about this is it's kind of like a sweet treat for me. I don't get them too often. It has a little caffeine kick. So I think there's like around 40-ish grams of caffeine in it. And honestly, it kind of just satisfies some cravings. I am on to my last meal of today. I just picked up dinner. Ended up getting some Chipotle. I'm in the car right now filming this because when I get home, I kind of want to just eat it and I don't want to eat cold Chipotle. With Chipotle, there's a couple things that I have to say about it. First off, it is one of my favorite healthier options. You have that and you have Chick-fil-A. So always a go-to for something on the healthier side, and it's relatively cheap. Whenever I get Chipotle though, there's some things that I do personally that I think help it the most. So in my bowl, I got a salad bowl, whatever it's called. And then I got it with steak. That's one of the lower calorie items on there, so 150 calories. And then I actually did not get any rice or any beans. And that's because they do not really measure. So if you're going and tracking it, it's most likely a little bit higher. I basically just got steak, lettuce, mild, extra mild. I got some corn salsa, just 1 serving of that, light sour cream, and extra fajitas and extra lettuce. So it's very, very high in like veggies, stuff like that. And you'll see it's gonna be very, very filling. There's gonna be a lot of volume, but also very, very low in calories. And for the calories, it's only 380 calories, very, very lean. The other thing that I'm going to do with this Chipotle bowl is Chipotle does not put a whole lot of meat in it for the protein. So what I'm actually gonna do is when I get home, I'm going to cook up, or I should say reheat, because I already meal prepped, 6 ounces of some chicken that I'm gonna add to the Chipotle bowl, really bump up the protein and really kind of give it a good amount of volume as well. So one of the things I do like about Chipotle is they put all their macros on their website, so you can kind of do like a little calculator. You can build your meal my macros for this Chipotle plus my chicken, it is 661 calories, 80 grams of protein, 18 grams of fat, and 37 grams of carbs. Now, without the added chicken, it would have only been 27 grams of protein, which I don't think is nearly enough. So that's why you have the added chicken. Also, it's cheaper than getting double protein. But all right, guys, just finished up making dinner. It turned out amazing. I ended up adding that 6 ounces of chicken, and then I also added about half a thing of lettuce to it. Also, I didn't add any dressing or anything like that, but everything is kind of coated in enough of a, I don't know, Chipotle salsa, whatever. It just covers everything, so it's perfect. All right, this 661 calories is really gonna fill me up. All right, guys, so the very last thing I had today that had some calories, I've been trying to incorporate just some Gatorade 0 calorie. I've been trying to incorporate some Gatorade packets into my whole routine. They are 5 calories per packet, so I typically have 2. So I do track it, so 10 calories. Honestly, it just kind of helps keep me hydrated, and also it gives me something to drink throughout the night that kind of does help keep me full and keep me hydrated. So that was my full day of eating on 1,600 calories. Today we ended at 1,596 calories, 195 grams of protein, 59 grams of fat, and 86 grams of carbs, and 37 grams of fiber. Honestly, I don't really think I would have changed much about my eating today. I was perfectly full. I got my protein in, hit all my macros pretty straight on. I think it's pretty rare that my macros are actually that spot on, but it happens. Can't complain. If you guys liked this day of eating, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for more.